All right, everybody. I am Spegtacular, the Silver Stack. I'm here with Daniel from CoinHELPu, YouTube star. Daniel, how's it going?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Good. I think last time we talked, you had just under 100,000 subs on your YouTube channel, and
Yes.
now you have over by what, 110,000?
111, I think it turned over today. Yes.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate everybody's support too, because I know we have a lot of crossover watchers here. And
Yeah.
no one can describe, the joy, the feeling you get, it's humbling. I had a guy come in today with his whole entire family that were passing through, and he said, I watch your videos and my daughter thinks she's interested. She's about 12 years old, interested in collecting coins, and his just whole family came in. They took pictures and everything.
Awesome. Daniel, some people may not know what you do as far as off of YouTube and on YouTube. So kind of explain what you're all about.
Well, the main thing is that I basically live at a coin shop. So I do 12 to 16 hours a day. I eat, breathe, live coins. So I have a brick and mortar shop here in Portsmouth, Ohio. It's a small town right along the Ohio River, where the confluence of the Scioto goes into the Ohio River. So Scioto River goes all the way up almost to Cleveland. So we're all right there in that area in this little small southern Ohio. And I basically done it all my life. My grandpa had a coin shop, and my dad had a coin shop off and on. We had different ones, but most of the time they were kind of part-time dealers, except during the Silver Hunts Brothers and all that in 1980 and 81 and all that was pretty much full-time. That was what really got my feet wet, doing that with them and helping them out. But I was only a 12 years old, 11 years old, 10 years old then. So that's basically it. That's kind of like got me really interested whenever that happened.
And then right there on YouTube, you're also talking about coins, and your name CoinHELPu is because you really do want to help people get into coins, understand coins, the ins and out of numismatics. I mean, that's pretty much your game, right?
Yeah, the videos was I already had a help community that I started in 2009, May of 2009. And I had a website since 2007. So I wrote articles for that about unsearched rolls, assaulted rolls, all of the scams and the frauds and the fakes and the fake grading companies on eBay. That was a big thing for me. And that's why I used Coin Auctions Help, because I wanted to help people with auctions. Well, of course, it got mixed up that I'm an auction site. But anyway, it ended up developing into CoinHELPu, the videos, because once I've got this coin shop here, and I thought, man, I could really help people if I could do the videos. And I talked with, Morgan, that's the Morgan and CoinOp, and we did videos, actually a live video at Sharonville. And I thought, I can do this. So yeah, that's how I kind of got started in it. But it is to help people, also to, as far as get people into the hobby, because, you spark a little bit of interest, people start collecting. I know I've had a lot of people tell me that I've helped get them into the hobby. So
a lot of people don't understand. That may not be, into the YouTube world or have YouTube channels. And correct me if I'm wrong, but when you say CoinHELPu, I mean, you really were helping people probably for free for a long time, because it takes a while to get any kind of income as a smaller time, channel. Even though you have 100,000 subs, that's not as big as some of these, millions and stuff of subs. I mean, but it takes a long time to build up any kind of money coming in from YouTube. So you were helping people for nothing for a long time, I'm sure.
Yeah, I never really, income's negligible, as far as making a living at it, that would be a stretch. Because one thing about it is most people are not going to have like a corporation, and you're going to have to pay double the taxes, any kind of income like that. People don't realize that whenever you are, let's say, an LLC or just any company at all, and you bring in income, you have to pay the double, because there's not an employer or an employee, paying half your taxes for you. So it can get pretty pricey. You can talk about 28%, or so.
Wild. All right. Now, if it's okay with you, I want to talk about some things related to you as a coin dealer, your shop. And then if you have anything you want to add too, I'd love to hear it. Actually, you showed a very interesting coin before we went live here. So what was that all about?
Yeah, it's a silver eagle here. If you can see it, can you see it pretty good?
Yeah, it looks like a silver eagle.
Yeah. Well, if you look down there at the bottom corner, it says $12.50. Now, when's the last time you bought a silver eagle for $12.50?
I have never bought a Silver Eagle for 12.50.
Well, I have bought them for $6 a piece.
Oh, wow.
1986 and 87 and 88 when they first came out. We would go up to Westerville and we would get a couple rolls and we would sell them to local people for $1 or $2 over. So we sold them for $7 or $8. So you'd make $20 or $40 on a roll, and that was smoking. I mean, that was, you know, we go to flea markets, would set up, and that was just some of the things we sold, you know. But yeah, so that's not the cheapest I bought them for, but we also have another one here. This is an 86. Now, you know how much 86 Silver Eagles are selling for now, right?
That's going up there.
It is. Well, this is $17.50.
What a steal.
And for those of you who do not know, 86 is the first year for the American Silver Eagle. I know most people probably watching this know that, but just in case. You always got new people watching, you know.
It's good to get it on all levels, I think, because you have people at all levels always starting into the hobby. We got to, you know, go on all levels, I think. I only have 86, only have one to my name.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, like I said, on the 86s, 96s, you pay more, 94s. But basically with these, with having toning and being in 2x2s and kind of mishandled, I paid $3 over melt for these. I might have paid $4 for some of them. It just depended on it. You know, it was in a hodgepodge. I don't know if you can't really see it, but I mean, it's just kind of beat up here. Just not in the best of shape. And some of them got milk spots and things like that on them. So usually I'm $5 over, up to $7 on some, you know. So that's to give you an idea, you know.
We've seen things change all the time recently on Eagles. I mean, that number is subject to change, I'm sure.
It is, and that's the thing too. Silver has dropped, and you know it's things are not selling as fast as far as on the Silver Eagle side, the silver round side. So you know you got to kind of adjust because a lot of people don't realize that dealers in general now. You're looking at APMEX and SD Bullion and eBay and I'm talking everybody in general here, not just you, but you see what they sell for over spot. And I already know that spot is basically paper, but what people don't realize is that dealers like me, I'm in some of these networks and I see the trends and the things that's going on and I can watch the market. And for me being a small dealer and I might buy 1,000 Silver Eagles or I might buy 1,000 silver rounds, but I have to be careful with what I pay because tomorrow I may be losing $2 a piece on them. So that's another thing a lot of people don't realize. And a lot of people, I'm not the type of dealer that's large enough to be hedging and doing all kinds of stuff. I'm not into all that. That's not something I do.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys do it safely and actually, you know, stay in business because it seems like a really, really tough thing to do.
I'm telling you, people don't understand it. You almost have to be a really good poker player. That's no joke. You have to be good at, and I never thought I was that good at math, but I've been able to manage it. But I've had some scary times whenever you pay, you know, over $26 for an ounce and on your silver, and then you see the silver drops down to 21 or under 20 for a minute, and I haven't got that yet. So what do you do when you get it? Well, you hope that you're buying cheaper in the meantime so that you can cost average it, or you make enough money on some of the other stuff you're selling that you kind of just make it a loss leader. Now other guys, they've got, you know, they're hedging with other things. They use the stock market. They use different things to do it with.
Now, I'm in Florida. You're in Ohio. Through the power of the internet, we are connecting right now.
Yes.
One of the Florida laws we have for dealers is they have to wait 30 days after they make a purchase of a silver or gold bullion item. Do you guys have anything like that over there?
No, we don't have to. As far as scrap and things like that, you have to do something like that. A lot of dealers, we have to have an anti-money laundering thing. So we have to keep track of everyone and take IDs and stuff like that. So we have a record of it. But no, we don't have to hold anything according to Ohio law.
Well, that's much better than here. So you guys have a little bit of an advantage when it comes to that. Yeah, the shops over here have to hold bullion rounds and bars for 30 days. So that's even more risky when it comes to trying to play the game and figure out what you should pay.
Oh, and that's real risky. People don't realize it. You know, that's one of the things that I know that if a dealer offers you, and let's say, for instance, a 93S Morgan, most people know a 93S Morgan, you're not going to get that coin for less than 2,500 right now. You might get a deal for one for a little over $2. But if a dealer offers you $1,000 for it or $700 for it, you know that dealer's not being on the up and up. But a lot of people don't realize when they bring their silver into a dealer, let's say silver rounds, and they're not paying as much as some other dealer, doesn't mean they're ripping you off. It doesn't mean that they're crooks. You know, maybe they want to pay you exactly spot. To me, that's not really what I would do, but I kind of get it. I mean, you get stuck with that stuff. You can, if you're a small time.
Just about every single shop owner I've ever talked to, I've talked to a decent amount now, have at some point lost money when it came to buying silver and gold.
Yes. I can tell you this. Well, I think one of the things for me, whenever I told you about back in 1980, whenever Dad was, I mean, we're talking tens of thousands of dollars, and we would drag it up to Westerville and sell it to a dealer up there. His name is Alan Carnes. He's late Alan Carnes. He passed away. Really nice man, kind of a mentor to me and taught me a lot of things, and was just kind of an example of the dealer that I wanted to be when I grew up. You know, I always dreamed of this. And that one day, Dad decided to wait overnight instead of taking it up and then staying all night at the motel and letting us swim, you know, because we went as a family. And he went in the next day, and his wife was there, everybody was there, and it was a completely different mood. And she said, "I'm afraid, Don, I've got bad news for you." And that's my dad's name. And she said, "My husband's going to lose a lot of friends." And she's like, "What's going on?" She said, "Man, silver's dropped. It's almost in half, and we're not gonna be able to pay you what we usually pay you." And Dad ended up losing about 30,000 overnight.
Man.
So, and that was in 1980. So you can do the adjustment for inflation on that, you know. So that's always in the back of my mind, and I don't want to get caught holding out hot potato.
Yeah, man, that's rough.
Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen now. It's a completely different world now. More than likely, you're going to see it drop a couple bucks and go back up a couple of dollars, because that's how they're making their millions. They're manipulating it. They're playing with it. And that's a fact. I mean, you can go over there and see that they trade $1 billion on COMEX, whether they go, you know, up $1 billion or down $1 billion, and that takes it $1 up or down. It almost seems like that's about how many it takes. And they make their money on it. They'll get it up there to where they can sell it off and make something. They got their contracts or futures. And I'm not an investor. This is all basically my opinion, just from what I've read. I like Investopedia a lot. I read it and listen to other dealers and what they do. You know.
Right on. All right, we're in the topic of losing money as a coin dealer right now. So let's keep it going for a second. Potentially, you had a video on your channel pretty recently about a $2.50 gold Indian that you purchased over the counter. You said, right?
Yeah, 1929. Yeah, a lot of people confuse that. It was purchased over the counter, but I don't like buying the fakes. But since it tested out to be, it looks like it might be gold. You know, some people say, "Well, I'd like to get rid of it," and you're going to just melt it down. And I say, yes. So then I make an offer on it and, you know, try to buy it that way. But you try to buy it for less than melt, just in case, because it may not even melt out. I don't know.
Gotcha. So you knew it was a fake, you tested it, but you figured it probably is still 90% gold, because a lot of times they even made those with the actual correct gold content, but you know, it's not a real coin.
It's really close if it's not. One of the things about that, a lot of people, I don't like to buy them when they're fake, but then I don't like letting them leave the door out front, because then people are like, you know, if you buy the fake, they're like, is it really fake? They start getting those doubts, you know, and I don't want people to think that, because I would never do that to someone. If you got a real coin, I'm going to buy it as a real coin price.
Right.
So I knew that I could use it for my videos, but you know, there was 3 of them, and that one stood out as something was different and wrong about it. And I said, "Look, we'll test them. We'll take a look at it." But you know, when you don't see the dots in between those letters for the designer initials, you know, something's up. There's other things to look for too. But when you're up front and it's been cleaned and your lighting's not all the best, you try to use the lighting you got up there. You know, I have lamps and things, but still, you know,
on the other side of the token there, somebody less educated than you, if you let it slip out the door, then maybe that person will buy it, and then they sell it to somebody else thinking that they have like an actual authentic coin. And you know, that trend keeps on going where the person's holding on to this fake now.
Yeah. So and I'm not saying I've never bought a fake before on accident. You know, I test the gold, but I'll tell you an incident that happened about, I don't know, almost 4 years ago. Someone came in and they looked like the Grinch that stole Christmas. Not that they stole it. I'm not saying that, but they had a bag over their shoulder and it was full of coins. And I let them come back and we sat down, and he had, I don't know how many $20 gold pieces, $10 gold pieces, $3 gold pieces, $2.50s and $5. And then he had Morgan dollars. And man, he's like, well, here, let me do that. And I looked at them. They tested okay. But until I sat down and actually got to look at them, I realized that some of these are probably not on the up and up. Yeah. So I sent them off to Annex to make sure. And, I had like 3 fakes in all of them that I bought. I bought probably 20 gold coins from me. And I sent them off and had them melted. That's what I did. They did test out. They were 90%. They were the smaller denominations, of course. They were 250 Liberties.
How does it work when you send something like that to get, like, let's say you send 3 coins to get melted, right? Does the person who's assaying everything, do they send you a list of like, hey, this coin was 90%, this was 89? Is that how it works?
Well, I mean, the guy that does it, he's a local refinery and he'll assay the coins. So, he melts them down right there into a ball. And I actually trade them to my former partner, and he takes them up there because he knows him really well. His name's Walter, and he just takes them up there for me and does it. I don't go myself. He just explains to me what he does, and he writes the check for me, and that's how it works.
Gotcha. I mentioned, you mentioned, I think in one of your recent videos, you started talking a little bit about coin shows. I think there's one coming up that you're talking about. You've been doing this for what, a little over 30 years now, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't owned a brick and mortar that long. My dad, like I said, Dad had part-time coin shops on the weekends, and my grandpa had, coin shop, but they didn't have them for too long. What we did was we mostly went to flea markets, and I sold on eBay. I've done the eBay thing for over 20 years.
Okay. So with coin shows, try to hit me with things, because you've had a span now of going to these things, of things that maybe you see that, happening lately that you like, and things that you see lately that maybe you don't like at coin shows.
Well, I think that a lot of, and I'm not saying it's about anything bad about dealers in general, they're starting to come around, but they're still kind of in the old school videos. These video channels and these dealers that have channels and they set up at your shows, they're very important for your show. They can bring people in, and they're starting to realize that. So that's something that when I first started going to shows, I have been going to shows for over 20 years, but not always setting up. Sometimes I would just go to shows that I'd see there was one and I would just go to it. But, like I said, my inventory was mostly for eBay, and I'd have a couple cases or something. But anyway, that's one of the things that I've noticed, kind of an aversion to electronic media as far as video is concerned. A lot of people don't mind a picture. They don't mind a brief clip or something, or they don't mind doing a commercial for their coin shop or whatever. But really, they could really open up some things if the floodgates, if they would allow video more, at least maybe a booth where, dealers can do their thing. Because at the Sharonville show, we have one, but it has to be outside on the Bourse floor. They don't allow it on the Bourse floor. And it's just out of respect. It's not that you can't go in there and do it. They'll end up getting you probably for something else. I don't know. But they prefer not to, open up a can of worms for people or rock a boat, because some dealers do not want to be on video. And I get that. Some people in general just don't want to be on video. It doesn't have to be because they're coin dealers. So I see something like that maybe changing. And that's one thing that, I would like to see do a little bit better as far as video and coin shows. Well,
I think, I would like to say I'm one of the pioneers when it comes to YouTube, like starting coin shop owner videos. Yeah. I would like to believe that in my own little mind, but I think it's helped these coin shops tremendously. Now, I'm very respectful if I go to a coin show, and very careful that I'm not putting the camera on anybody's faces unless they say, hey, I don't mind being on camera. And then you got it. But then, like, the people that are just passing by, I'm very careful. You got to be careful too if you're aiming the camera down, because maybe they're, pulling their wallet out. Now they got their personal information. I'm not trying to display any personal information. I want to show coins. I want to hear information about coins. And that's the goal. And I think it helps everybody, not just my channel or your channel. It's helping everybody who deals with this stuff, both buyers and sellers.
I totally agree. One of the things they need to realize too, we can blur people's faces and personal information. That's easy. You see that on TV all the time. I honestly, like I said, I think there should be a booth. You can put up a big old green screen and have at it with videos. Some of these guys could sell some coins they probably never sold before, have a little live auction. Now, one of the other things, something else that I like to do, fish. And I've been to fishing shows and boat shows. And one of the things that I don't think coin shows do enough of is for kids. Now, I'm not saying they don't do anything. Some of them do things for kids, but I think that it would be fun. I brought up an idea. I'm not sure if we'll be able to do it this year or not, but I thought about a kiddie pool and having, coins taped to the back of one of those magnets you use for print off business cards, but you don't have to have business cards on it. Have it face down, and they can have a little magnet on a fishing pole, and they can go in and for free, or for maybe if they draw a certain number, they could try to fish out a coin and see what they get. It could be buffalo nickels, a silver dime, things like that brings kids in to make it fun. Like it's, I know my grandson would love to do it. 6 years old, and he thinks he's going to get a coin if he does a fishing thing, he's going to do it. So just things like that, I think that should be ramped up for coin shows. Try to get the youth involved, make it more exciting for them.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of shows that I see, as soon as the kids come in, they're giving them free coins and stuff. And I'm sitting there like, man, I wish I was still a kid. But yeah, man, plant that little seed right there in that child. You have a coin collector for life. That's a good idea.
I do the same thing. I have some young customers that come in, and I always try to give them something free. You also want to be careful. You want to let them know that nothing's for free. Technically it's a gift, but yeah. I know that whenever I used to go to certain stores in town, we would get something free, like whether it be a dumb sucker at a bank or whatever. And I always thought, if kids come in here, they got to get something, right? I mean, something.
Yeah. You mentioned you were a fisherman.
Yeah, I like to fish. Me and my dad, we go every Thursday when weather's decent.
All right, this is going to be, I have something on this table right here. I don't know if you notice, it might be kind of,
I see it. Is that a Megalodon?
Yeah. Big old Megalodon.
I know fossils too. So.
Okay, that's good. So I want to talk about, as a coin shop owner, what's the weirdest thing that you've had come into your shop and you've still bought it? Might not be coin related at all. Could be something like this.
Well, that brings me up with something else I have to tell you too. The fossil thing. But yeah, something that I bought that was the weirdest thing. I still bought it. I had someone bring in 4 totes of these little collector clocks. And I said, I do not want them. I do not deal in those. And it was a guy I knew, and I bought coins from him. He said, man, I'm going to make you a deal you can't refuse. I'm practically going to give these things to you. And they're going for $40 and $50 on eBay. I said, no, I'm not going to do it, man. I just don't want to do that, because that's ripping you off, and you can make, triple or quadruple your money. So he sold them to me for, I think, $5 a piece, because we got on eBay and I saw they were selling for a good price. I thought, man, I got to take pictures of these daggone clocks. Man, it ended up being a disaster. I made some money on it. I did really well, but some of them were broke. And I run into an eBay seller that was really bad. I mean, I did everything I was supposed to do. They complained because I had the auctions in at the wrong time and they couldn't win them, and just all kinds of stuff. So I was glad to get rid of them. But that was one of the oddest things.
Huh. What I think about the fossils.
The people, I mean, I know that I sell coins, but I also grew up mainly going to flea markets. I'd have coins in tow, and then I would have any kind of junk that I could sell, preferably collectibles. But we'd have old tools and things like that. And we'd be in an old Sanford & Son 67 Chevy, 3 on the column. You find them until you grind them. I mean, grind them until you find them type deal. And I'll never forget, it was a step side, an old gray Chevy. So we were Sanford & Son when we were kids, and Dad would teach us how to make some money selling collectibles and coins and things like that. So anyway, when eBay rolled around, the first thing I sold on eBay was not a coin. It was a fossil that I found in a creek. And I thought, well, I'll just throw it up and see if it sells. It sold for $10 and shipping was $5 or something like that. And I thought, what? I sold something I never had any money in for, $10. And I thought, well, I wonder how many times I could do this. So then I told Dad, I said, look, I can sell anything on there. If that sells, rock with a fossil in it. So Dad got some coins out and I put them up, and, this was back in 98. Yeah. I was 28 years old, 25 in that range, somewhere in that range. So Hot Wheels, I've done all that stuff, but I just love coins. That's what I like.
That's awesome.
Now, talking about odd things coming in the shop, I had something come in the shop. Of course, I didn't buy it. I actually wanted it to leave the shop. My reaction to it actually surprised me. It was it's dated 1833. It was a bill of sale for a black slave. And when you said something odd to come in my shop, that was something that I just wanted to leave with it. I asked them if they would just go with it. It really bothered me in a sense more than I thought it would, because the fact that was a real thing that really happened. And I described them like they was just a piece of meat or a cow. It was disturbing. And I did, and like I said, that was the oddest thing that came in my shop that I did not buy and refused to even want to look at anymore after I realized what it was.
Right on.
I'd actually like to have seen it burned, honestly. That's just the way I feel. But, you know, I guess maybe as a reminder of we never do things like that. It's another human being, you know. But anyways,
totally understand.
I'm trying to get too political. I'm trying to get crazy, but, you know, I have my feelings and my opinions on things.
Yeah. Well, luckily we don't do that stuff anymore.
Oh my gosh. It bothers me talking about it. I know it sounds crazy, but it just does, man. We're human beings. We're all on this earth together. And that's what we are. We're humans.
At the end of the day, imagine you or your children, you know what I mean, being in those situations where, you know, they're just moved on to somebody for money. Like it's hard to think about.
It is. It was for me. Hit me hard. I mean, like I said, my reaction to it was unpredicted. I would have never thought that I would be that bad. I would, you know, obviously I don't condone any of it, but never did. But yeah.
Right on. Has anyone asked you if you had something unusual for sale? Like, you know, like that they wouldn't come in and say, oh, do you have a coin? Do you have a piece of silver? It's just something unusual. You're like, I'm a coin shop. Like, why would you even think that I had that? Does that ever happen?
I had people, I'm trying to think of an instance where someone would have asked me something.
Well, I asked one of my local guys, I just happened to say like, hey man, I really like, you know, like weapons, like guns. And he's like, oddly enough, I got this old one back in the safe. And I'm thinking, man, I wouldn't expect that to be in a coin shop, you know, but I guess people come in with a whole load of stuff and he's like, yeah, I'll just take everything you got.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes, I mean, I try to steer away from buying other things, but I mean, yeah, people have asked me if I had stamps and stuff like that, maybe, but I just don't deal in the paper much. I used to, but that's one market that's really fallen. Comic books is one thing, but I don't buy those either. But yeah, that's probably the closest. Maybe someone asked if I had stamps or anything.
Yeah,
there was something that happened and I can't remember. It's maybe if I'll think of it later, I'll mention it.
So you don't mess around with stamps whatever anymore?
No, I actually, when I was in junior high, I was collecting stamps and I thought, well, I'd do the stamps because Alan had stamps up there. Alan Carnes there at the Westerville coin shop. And I thought I'd do the stamps, Dad do the coins, because I never thought I'd ever know as much as Dad about coins. I mean, Dad was my coin hero for that. So all I could do is grow up and try to be like him. I didn't think I'd ever, you know, go above and beyond what he did. And that's what he tells me I've done. But, you know, I had a stamp club I started and I had stamp shows over at the post office. So yeah, I know a little bit about stamps. I ordered a lot of things from Harris.
I steered away from stamps very early on when I noticed people would come in with a stamp collection to a shop or even to a show with somebody who's dealing with stamps, and the person would spend, I don't know, just very little time just going, yeah, no thanks, I don't want any of it, you know. And it's like they're looking for just that really specific, you know, few different stamps that are out there that are worth money. And I was like, you know what? I want a game where people will buy anything I have. And it seems like coins and precious metals is that game. Stamps is just not that for me. I don't want a bunch of stamps laying around that it will never be worth anything.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. There's not a lot of things that I have not collected at one time in my life because I grew up, I think basically just being born the way I am, being around my dad and collectibles, and Grandpa was big on it too. I mean, my grandpa served in World War II and he died in 2009. And he was original American picker because him and my great grandma would go all over the place and find antiques. He looked for uranium and gold and diamonds, and he would tell me stories, you know, and sometimes he probably added a little bit to them, you know, but he would tell me stuff. They found uranium one time somewhere. And that was my grandpa. And growing up listening to those stories, Grandpa never worked for anyone. And I thought, you know, that would be a goal, you know, to be able to work for yourself and go out and treasure hunt. And then, of course, my dad, you know, he always worked, but he always did the coins. And he started his coins in 1954 because he worked for a vending company. And a guy told him, are you saving your 50D nickels? And he said, no, why? And he said, because you can get 2 and $3 out of them. And Dad's like, really? So next thing you know, Dad's buying and selling coins and going to the bank, getting Morgan dollars, going through them for the CCs, and then selling the CCs for $2 or $3. So, it's kind of in my blood. And there's probably marbles. I've collected marbles. I've done a lot of little things like that. I remember my marble collection ended though one time because we grew up in church. My dad's a preacher. He still preaches, but I grew up in church, and the Gideons came in, and the Gideons give out Bibles. You see Bibles at the hotels. Well, they were taking donations of $25 for what they do for the Bibles and the materials and things like that. And they came every year to the church. Well, I went to school and sold all my marbles to my friends, and I only came up with $12.50. That's all I had. So I went and asked him if I could do a partial donation. I was 12 years old, and he said, well, sure. And he thanked me in front of church, and they did a whole thing in their little Gideon newsletter and had my picture and everything of me and what I did. And I still have that newsletter. I don't have it here at the shop, but that was the end of my marbles. So then I went on to something else.
That's Marvel's actually kind of a neat collection, I think. And I remember some years back, I watched that How It's Made, and it was like How It's Made Marble. And just that process, I was like, man, that's just so special how everyone's kind of a snowflake. I mean, a little different.
Yeah. I find marbles all the time. Yeah.
That's cool. I want to talk about coin grading companies, specifically like NGC and PCGS, because those are the two big ones. But do you think there's something that now that we're really getting into numismatics, right? Because people are just going into this thing. I think that there's more people than ever, thanks to social media and the internet really blowing this thing up. More people selling, more people buying. Do you think that there's something that they could do better now that things are starting to evolve and change in the hobby?
You mean as far as the grading services in general?
The grading process, the grading services, is there something that could be done better or something new that could add some more life into the hobby?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. Right now, I'm not really sure what's going on. But when you have CAC shutting down for a month to catch up, and instead of raising fees, I don't know what's in the wind. I thought that I kind of had a grasp on this, but here we have, I just got back a box of coins. Matter of fact, this right here is, I think it's 8-9 Morgan dollars that I sent off, and they got March 2nd, and I just got them today.
Woo!
I don't know what's going on. I wish that, I would like to think that I wouldn't want to tie up more of their time, but I think whenever they designate a coin as clean or fake, they should put a piece of paper with that, a write-up on why it is. Why is that clean? Teach me. To me, I think that would be a way to improve the hobby and satisfy people and feel like you're getting something for your money besides a grade on a coin you got charged for that wasn't a grade, a genuine. I hear a lot of people talk about that. I don't know if you can lower fees. I don't know if you could appeal to people that way, because look, they can't even keep up with what they're doing. And I think there's so many new graders, and like I said, this here though, I want to say real fast, because this is coins that I restored, and people have been waiting on me to do this video. These coins were in one of those envelopes that and toned them up really good, and I used my restoration methods. And then I thought, well, you know what? I had so many people telling me, you can't clean your coins. Those coins are damaged. Those coins are no good anymore. And I just went ahead and sent them off to prove the difference. So I'll have that video. So whoever's watching this, I'll have that video. It'll be probably out tomorrow. But anyways, as far as, go ahead.
I was going to say, when you get PCGS or NGC to do their restoration process, it's cleaning a coin, and then they end up grading it as authentic, right?
Yeah.
Or not damaged.
There's an art to this. That's what people don't understand. Not every coin can be restored, and they won't restore every coin. They'll send it back and charge you anyways. And that's another thing. They need to put a little something in there that explains why they made the decision that they made. After all, it's your coin. They entrusted it to their care, and they were paid to do the job. And I think you need to be a little more thorough and teach the hobby. Why wouldn't you? To me, I think that would be, and they can have generic stuff. It doesn't have to be like, there's going to be so many reasons you think a coin's clean and you're going to put that on the label, right? Either it was whiz, so you can say, okay, this is what whizzing usually is. Teach, let people know what the heck happened to their coin so they understand it better. I think that would be something to improve. Yes.
And there's so many, I mean, everybody's got a camera in their pocket right now. I mean, everybody does. I mean, you just take a picture of that coin, make a little red mark around the area that you're concerned about, saying, hey, this is where they cleaned it, or this is what it looks like, or there's some slight, hairline scratches. Yeah, absolutely. It could let people know.
Yeah, I think it should be more thorough. And, especially on coins that are problem coins, Another thing, and I know this is going to sound crazy, we need an actual grading standard. And we need that standard to be developed by artificial intelligence. And before people think that all computers can't do this or that, computers, artificial intelligence, even LiDAR, all this stuff can and will detect the same things our eyes detect. It is that advanced, and it is getting more advanced as time goes on. I can promise you that a artificial intelligence that is actually scanned and did the light spectrum and everything on a coin can grade that coin just as accurate as a human grader, because all a human grader is doing is using the photo grade up here in their head and what they've memorized and what they've been told a grade should look like. That's all you're doing. And I know for me, I am a fallible human. I mean, I make errors. So I know a lot of people make errors. I mean, we're being human. That's the error to be human. So that's a given. Artificial intelligence is not going to grade that same coin if nothing happened to it, a different grade. So the resubmissions would obviously eventually stop, or at least slow down a great deal. So that's going to cost some money. And I've heard that that's one of the reasons why this is not being developed or looked into seriously. So I don't know. Like I said, I honestly know computers and artificial intelligence a lot more than most people do, and actually own part of a company that has delved into that a little bit, and we've done a little bit of grading with it. So I know it does work.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's the future, and it's going to be the future of coin collecting too. I mean, you got to get something that can level the playing field for everyone, so we're all on the same page.
Yeah, whenever you can take. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, please go ahead, please.
We can literally, and if we could do this, let's take, 7 billion people in the world. If we could get their faces scanned by every person scanned by an artificial intelligence program, every single person, that program will recognize that person every time, as long as nothing happens to them. They don't get burned or in the face or something like that. And it'll be able to identify them, and that will be that person, that unique person. It's no different than people in your family. You don't mistake this person for that person. When you look at their face, you know who it is. We've memorized it. Artificial intelligence would put that in a database. Same thing with every coin in the world could be scanned by artificial intelligence. That would form a baseline for a range of what a mint state 63 coin should be. And it can do that with luster. It can do it with any of it. I mean, because all that stuff is light reflection. That's all it is. And all that stuff can be recorded. Computers, our equipment that we have, can see more than we can see. It'll actually see the infrareds. It'll see all the color spectrums off those coins and everything. And it will be able to measure that. There is a measurement for that. It's scientific.
Yeah, I agree with you. Something that I had been thinking about, and I asked a professional coin grader this. I asked him about the edge of a coin. I'm like, are you guys paying attention to the edge of a coin when you grade? And he goes, really, no, not really. That's not one of the focuses. It's the obverse, reverse. I kind of think that when you have a coin that, is from a grading service, that everything should be taken into the front, the back, and the edge. And instead of it just being one grade based upon almost like the combined total of what you see, it should be like the front is a 70, the reverse is a 69, the edge is whatever. I think there needs to be more to it rather than just overall it's a 70 or it's a 69.
Well, they did do the dual grade holders at one time. I think what you run into is, what's the value of it? My 70's got a 70 reverse and an obverse, so it's going to be worth more than your 70 with the 69 reverse, and your edge is another grade. I think I like the kind of the accumulation grade like that we have today, because I think that it would be more honest if we actually used artificial intelligence that's not going to have a bad day. It doesn't have emotions. It's not going to, you know what I mean? You can
Exactly.
it can take the edge into consideration. There's a nick on the rim, so maybe this isn't a 70. Maybe this should be a 68.
You talked about difficulty when it comes to the multiple grades on a coin when it comes to pricing. It's difficult right now to price things because you got the CACs, and then you have, oh, this is premium quality. You know what I mean? You got opinion on different. Oh, this is much better than I appeal right here. This is definitely better than a 68. This is definitely closer to a 69 or 70. You know what I mean? Like, you have just so many opinions, and then so many variables like the CAC. It's tough right now.
Yeah, it is. I mean, as far as CSC is concerned, they don't CSC every coin. They don't put their sticker on every one of them. They put it on the ones that they feel like is solid for the grade. And it's basically an opinion. I did a video on that too long ago. And I think a lot of people misunderstand the whole concept. When people, and I've said it in my video, but when you come to me and you've got some graded coins, or I've got graded coins in my thing, maybe at a coin show, what are you going to do? Do you think this is a good buy? Do you think that's the grade? You're going to ask me that. And you're going to base your buy, some people do this, on what I say about that coin. I don't know how many times it happens to my coins that have my case. And I'm like, yeah, that's really good for the grade. That's exceptional for the grade. And they buy it because I said it. Well, that's what CAC is. You got experienced people looking at it and saying, yeah, I think it is, because we have a lot of inconsistency in the grades. I just bought some coins the other day. I mean, we were looking at them. I had a video on some of them. The 64 pluses, all of them didn't look the same. Why didn't they? Why does the 164 plus have a big old gouge down on the side of its cheek? It shouldn't be a plus. And CAC wouldn't have put a plus on, or wouldn't have put their sticker on that.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm no coin grader, and I have coins that are in 70s, and I look at them and I see imperfections. I'm like, I don't know that I would have given that a 70. I mean, I'm happy to have it in a case that says 70. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think that based on what I see here that I could have given it a perfect grade. A lot of inconsistencies.
Yeah, there is. And another thing is people got to realize too, that 70 is not perfect. It's not a perfect coin. It can have imperfections as from the mint. And exactly. They have that listed on our site. So yeah, it can have like a milk spot or something and still be a 70 according to the way their terminology on it.
Yeah, I don't believe that milk spots are even part of the grade.
Yeah, it's most of the time it's not, but people see it and I've had a couple returns because of a milk spot. And I have my goodness, I've counted my hands, I promise you, on the returns that I have, but every once in a while you have one.
Yeah. Right on. Is there a common numismatic or precious metals related item that you would not buy in your store? Maybe like a commonly counterfeited coin that you're just like, oh, I can't mess with that.
No, not because of a counterfeit. I don't know of anything really that I haven't bought, when it comes in at silver. I can always melt it down if I don't like the subject matter. But as far as being counterfeited, no. I mean, I buy the gold and the platinum. I hope someone doesn't bring any palladium in. I don't want that kind of stuff. I'm not really into that.
What about rhodium? Could you take rhodium?
I mean, I could, I guess. I get on eBay and see what it's selling for and make an offer that way. But I mean, I don't know. I've never tried to sell those kind of coins, so I don't know.
One of my local shops, he had a little piece of rhodium that stayed there for a long time, and I watched that huge dip in rhodium prices, and I'm thinking like, oops, like there goes that money.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, it has to be coin related. It has to be in a bullion round or a bar before I'd even think about it. Oh, there is something that I do not buy down this shop because of the fakes or because of the issues. I will not buy a gold bar that is not sealed in that PAMP holder or one of those holders.
Yeah.
And a holder, and I know what the holders look like if they're fake, so I can do that. But I've had people bring in gold bars a couple times and they were out of the holders and everything, and I just won't buy them. I tested them and everything, and they were fine. I said, look, I'm just not buying it. It's not sealed. So yeah.
And they're actually doing really good on those on the little assay cards too. They're changing those all the time, like these Chinese counterfeits, and they're getting really good with them. I mean,
they are.
Okay. Any plans coming up for your YouTube channel that you might want to let the viewers in on?
Well, I haven't done it yet. I haven't made the jump, but I am thinking about asking people who watch my channel and local people if they would be interested in being videoed while we do some transactions.
Oh, that'd be good.
And that's been something I'll be honest with you, Dustin Morgan, before COVID, he was going to come in and we were going to do some things because he had the video camera, the 4K, and we talked about it and ready to go. COVID happens, and then we just stopped. And then of course, he passed untimely on us. And So I kind of just put that on the back burner, you know, because you got to have people in here to do it. I don't want the video camera in my hands. I'm trying to do, you know, so that might be happening in the near future. And as far as channel is concerned, it's not really to do with my channel, but more like I'm going to buy a display case, and I'm almost ready to do it now. I was going to expand, but I decided to invest in my employees versus pay more money for a shop next door when I can buy a case and have my Portsmouth numismatic display up front. And that's what it's going to be, Portsmouth, Ohio. When I have paper currency from national currency and things like that, and tokens, and that people can learn the history of, you know, Portsmouth currency.
That's awesome. Make sure that when you do the thing, when you're filming other people coming in and doing transactions with you, that you have them sign a waiver of consent.
Oh, I've got the waivers. I had to sign waivers before myself. Yeah.
You don't want that coming back for any reason.
No, I've got all my ducks in a row as far as you know, what to do there. I've been involved in some video in the past, you know, but it was for other things, college and stuff like that. So yeah, the waivers and things. But
well, I know
yeah.
I know we're miles apart, but if I ever get to Ohio, I really would like to, you know, have the opportunity to do a video with you. That'd be cool.
Man, you walk in here and you can start anytime. That's fine.
That'd be a lot of fun.
More than welcome, man. More than welcome. I'll take you out to lunch too.
Wow, thank you. All right.
Absolutely.
Anything you want to add before we go?
Well, no, I don't think there's anything else. We talked about a lot of different things, so I think it's pretty good.
We moved around a little bit. Thanks for doing this. This is actually the second video you and I have done. The first time you were on your phone, you wanted to actually make things a little bit better. You wanted to use more of a stable camera this time, and I think it looks good. You look good, right?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
No problem. All right, Daniel from CoinHELPu. You got to check him out. You most likely you already have 111,000 subscribers strong, you said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So check out down below in the description of my video, and I'll have an easy link so you can go to Daniel's page. Go ahead and subscribe to him. Check out his stuff. He gives you a lot of great advice. You still got apps? You still got the app?
Yes, I still have the Mint Error app and actually the PhotoGrade app with the values. Yes.
What would people look up to find that?
It's on Android. It's just, you go to Google's apps, you know, the app store there, and you can find it that way. I actually have the Mint Error stuff on my website as well. It's coinoxushelp.com, and also CoinHELPu community. I mean, people can post images there and questions, and I help people there. And I have a lot of great members that help, you know, everybody there too. They're knowledgeable. So.
All right, you're super helpful. Greatly appreciate you've helped me many times. Your videos are very insightful, and just appreciative of having people like you in the community that's willing to, you know, show their face and show coins together and explain to people, like, you know, what's going on. And you know, there was a time, I think, when dealers wanted to keep things like all secretive, but you know, we got to let everybody know so that this community and this hobby can grow. Yeah,
and now I guess that would be something to add. You can probably edit it and put it back in somewhere else, but that is completely transparency is so important in this hobby. The only problem with that is that some people don't know it very well. They don't know coins very well. They don't understand business very well. And they'll hear you say you paid this for this and it sold for this, and then they're judging you for not paying enough. And dealers just don't need to deal with that. They don't need the bad reviews. And I understand that's one of the reasons, I can tell you, because there's some things that I've done and made more money on something than I thought I would. Well, I can't call everybody up that I made more money on a coin and say, look, I'm going to pay you this much more. If it was a big collection and you sold the whole collection at once, and it's, you know, you might be able to do that. Or maybe if it's a special coin that you didn't catch or something, maybe. But, you know, you can't get in the habit of doing that because then everybody expects it. You know, and it's kind of tough in this business to be completely transparent. And I understand why some dealers just want, hey, it's my business. You do business with me or you don't. This is the way I do it. I get that too.
Right on.
But I don't think it promotes the hobby. I think it gives a mistrust in the hobby doing it that way.
Yeah, you're right. But we're going to work on that. We're going to get things better, I think, in this hobby little by little. I think together as a community, we can do that. So Daniel, with your help, as you've been helping already, we can get it done.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, don't think we can underestimate the strides that we have made in that direction, honestly, because you've done it with, like you said, you've been in the coin shops and you've been able to get dealers to allow you to interview them on camera. And I have been completely disclosing everything that I do and how this business runs, and going to the coin shows and how much I make and trying to set the pace. And you would not believe how many dealers tell me they watch my videos and love my videos. I mean, other dealers, we're not just talking about, so.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
there we have that.
maybe it can help their shyness too when they see you on there and they're like, wow, it's working for him. Let me go ahead and give that a shot too.
Yeah. If this guy can do it, you can do it. That's the truth.
Right. Daniel, greatly appreciate it. Maybe after, I don't know, 120, 130,000, 140,000 subs, we can do another one.
Sure. Sounds good, man. Hey, maybe even sooner. Maybe something will come up. You just never know.
Hey, whenever you're ready, I'm ready. And I think the fans are ready. They appreciate you. Daniel from CoinHELPu, again, down in the description of this video. Check him out. He needs all the help he can get, man. He's only got 111,000 subs strong. Did you get your little award yet?
No, I actually had to follow. That's another story. I had to file not a case, but I had to file the support help through YouTube. And it took them weeks to review my channel and determine that I deserved a button, a play button. I still haven't got it.
You definitely deserve it. I don't
know if I ever get it.
If there's something I got to sign or the community has to sign to make sure that YouTube gets you one, let us know, and we'll send people over there to start signing things for you to help you get that thing.
I appreciate it, but they just told me they just had to review my account and they said everything was okay and I was going to get one, and I've not received it yet. It's been 3 weeks since then, I think, or 4 weeks.
Come on, anybody that works at YouTube, if you're watching this right now, come on, push that thing along. The man needs his button.
So I can do my 100,000 video.
There you go. Daniel, thanks again. Hopefully I'll talk to you soon.
Same.
Appreciate
it, man. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That went pretty well.